Now we want you to share with us our latest and greatest dream. A place of hopes and dreams, facts and fancy, all in one. That's it, right here. Disneyland.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Way of Magic podcast. I'm Steve, and over there is Armando. How you doing, Armando?
I'm good. We missed last week, but that was nothing was really happening last week, and I had gone to a WWE event. I went to Monday Night Raw, and my voice was gone. I couldn't talk, so that was that was definitely something. So that's also why we took the week off as well, and didn't find something to talk about because I just couldn't talk. I was done for a while there. Almost a week. Almost a week it took me to recover. I went. No, and I tell you, I went hard. So
Oh yeah, it looked fun.
it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah, well, we definitely didn't miss anything
And
because
now,
with exception of if you're a Magic Key holder, you can purchase your Christmas holiday merchandise early. That was it.
yeah.
But and this week doesn't have much either. But
Nope.
um, luckily I was able to go and I took a little staycation and went over to Disneyland and spent the weekend over there. And so I, if you'll humor me, I'll talk a little bit about it.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
And alrighty. So yeah, so I'm doing some work. I got to go down to Orange County sometimes, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go and splurge and get a Disney stay over by the parks. And I got my Magic Key renewed, and I'm like, I'm gonna break it in with the stay like that. And so it was a solo trip and all that. And although I met some friends over there later on, but I stayed over at the Portofino Inn and Suites. And if you know where this is at, this is on Harbor, right next to Sheraton. And then so I stayed over at Portofino Inn and Suites, which is sandwiched right between the Sheraton and it's a I think it's a Spring Hill Marriott. There's that one right on the corner, and it was a pretty good rate. To about 230 or something like that, which in comparison to the Sheraton, which was around closer to
Oh yeah.
300 and stuff like that for a weekend, it wasn't too bad. Um, so I drive down there, check in, and I got to tell you, with those good neighbor hotels, I feel like it's kind of a Russian roulette kind of thing of whether
Yeah,
or not
yeah.
it's going to be a good hotel or not. Especially when you get to like the motels and these like smaller ones. I'd always heard good things about this hotel, but then actually stepping into it, I was like, okay, I see why this is rated so well. So I got uh went in, checked in, and I gotta say the room was really, really big. I mean, surprisingly large for what it was. It was a double queen and all that stuff. Plenty of places to sit. So if you're like a family and not everyone wants to sit on the bed kind of thing,
Yeah.
there's some places to sit. But I mean, the bathroom was small. That was the only drawback to it. But
Hmm.
what was the room looked a little dated. There was, if you were plugging in with the USB chargers right there, none of that. A
Uh,
couple of wall outlets. Room kind of it felt kind of dark. Um, and the furniture was okay. The refrigerator in the room, there's a mini fridge in there. It leaked in the
oh,
middle of the night,
good
and so I
gosh.
walked in. Yeah, so I walked, and I was walking to getting up in the morning, and I stepped, and I was like, it's all wet over here. I was like, and so I found out it was the um the fridge. But what was really cool was that there is a balcony. Some of the rooms have balconies, and I didn't
Oh,
know this. I
that's
didn't
cool.
read this far. And yeah, so the balcony had a great view of the Sheraton and Harbor Boulevard and stuff like that. So it was a great little space,
That's
a
really cool.
little yeah. And I mean, if you're looking for like a resort kind of thing, you're not really going to get that here. There's no dining. The pool was kind of just a pool, it was a standard pool. Um, Parking was okay. They have like a surface lot, and then if you don't have um if you can't find parking there, they send you up to um, the Marriott parking structure that they built right behind there. So
Hmm.
all that. And what's weird too, this is what was weird. So they gave when I checked in, they gave me a blue card that said it just said parking
It
on it,
wasn't like
and
a.
I like
Oh, it was. They didn't give you like any digital. It was like an actual physical.
it was yeah, it's like a physical RFID hotel key, and they're
Oh
like, this
wow.
is how you get in and out of that parking structure. But then this is what was weird, and I bet you this happens more times than it doesn't. Uh, when you check out, they tell you to give that key back because that's how you get your deposit back. And so I was like, okay. I went and I checked out and I gave him back the key and I walked down the hall as I was heading to the parking structure because I was parked in the parking structure. And that's how you get out in and out is with that card. And I went and I was like, I bet I'm going to need that card to get out.
Yeah.
So I went back and picked up the card. And sure enough, and then as I was walking out to the car, there was a woman there who could not get out because she had turned in her card.
That's not a very
So I
good
was like, thank goodness.
system.
It was, and that really was like the one negative where I was like, I've never been to a hotel where the hotel, because usually the hotel key, your actual room key, is
Yeah.
what the parking is hooked onto. So that was kind of weird that was there. But overall, it was a really nice day. It was very clean,
That's good.
which I think is important. And I gotta say, the best part of it though is the location. It is so easy to get there. I mean, you're talking about a mile, you know.
Hmm.
But the minute you step out of your room, you're already on the street and you can walk straight on up. I also like too that it wasn't a motel style, because you know if you stay at some of those hotels, they're motels, and
Yeah.
this one's an actual interior hallways and stuff. So that was a good option, and so I thought that was a really strong hotel. So if anyone's doing a staycation or someone who's just interested in the parks um, from out of town, I think that's a good option.
Oh, that
Which
is
is weird
cool.
because I used to say the Hilton, and I still think the Hilton Anaheim next to the convention center is the best option, but it's definitely not the only one. So, and if you have the money, obviously the Howard Johnson is the best, but this is a good option if you want that middle range, I think.
Sorry about that. Um,
Okay.
I have pets. If you guys know, pets come and go, and they like to interrupt some recordings. So I apologize if it's kind of cutty throughout this video. I apologize, guys. Anyway, um, but no, that's really cool. You were also telling me
They're just trying to break in the business.
they really are. They're trying to. Yeah. Ah. Anyway, anyway, you were also telling me that uh you got to check out the Disneyland Hotel Villas.
I did. So I went, it was I think this is still their opening week or opening weekend or whatever, but yeah, I got to go and they've made a real big to do of it. So they have like little balloon towers as you walk in and stuff. And um, they've given out uh, uh, commemorative maps and stuff like that if
Oh,
you're
that's
staying
cool.
there. I got to just tour the outside a little bit and get to peek inside the lobby. Yeah. I They kind of have guards there to kind of say, hi, I guess people are going to be when it's something new like that, they're going to want to go and check it out. But I got to look at it. It's it looks exactly like the concept art. I mean, it really is kind of incredible how like it was literally like they took it and just snapped their fingers. It's exactly the same. Um, it's really nice. I mean, I wouldn't say it doesn't blend exactly into like the old school. I mean, those older buildings and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Um, but I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess you wouldn't want that. It's a new building. You don't want it to be those standard blocks that are there. But yeah, overall, it's really nice. It's very colorful. I like that there's a lot of color in it, and it's not just it seems to have this really warm feeling to it. So I think that this is going to be, without a doubt, probably one of the. I mean, this is going to be like how the Grand California villas were back 10 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
This is going to be the must the must have reservation.
That's pretty cool. That's
But
pretty cool.
they haven't finished the lounge. Yeah.
Oh,
So we got a couple more weeks or months on that.
are any other well the rooms are got to be finished, right? Because you aren't you able to start staying in the rooms?
Yeah, oh yeah. There were people there. What was weird is I went there in the evening and I noticed that because usually you can tell like, oh, there's a lot of people in their rooms, all the
Yeah.
lights are on. I didn't see a lot of that. So I don't know if they they might have like limited how many people because it said it was sold out, I believe,
No.
when they first went out. So maybe they just kind of are limiting it because they want to make sure they don't want to have a whole hotel full of people. Um,
In an
I thought
unfinished
the name
hotel,
was
yeah.
interesting. Yeah, right.
What
I
was
thought the name was interesting because they call it the Discovery Tower. Well, according to the map, it's the Discovery Tower or the villas at the Disneyland Hotel Discovery Tower. And I thought should have just gone the villas at
I
Disneyland
think the
Hotel.
villas at Disneyland
Just make it
would have been
simple.
fine.
Yeah. Because I mean each tower is named after the land
Yeah.
that it's themed to. This one's not really Tomorrowland, so we wouldn't call it the Tomorrow Tower. That would also be confusing. Um, but that's a nitpick.
And we're not
But it's
Imagineers.
that's true, yeah. We don't get paid that much for that. But I think it's great. I mean, I really now I'm more excited for the next hotel that they're going to do because I think if they can do something that it's Disney centric, it has like that
Yeah.
all the characters and stuff like that, but it's still something unique and
Well,
it feels different.
well, here's the thing now. So with this new hotel they're gonna build, the Disneyland Forward stuff. Yeah. Do you think that's gonna be the low price hotel now though, or do you think that the Pixar Hotel would be the low one still?
I think oh yeah, Pixar's is going to be the low for I mean, I can't imagine the Disneyland Hotel being the bottom rung now, especially with the DVC thing.
Well,
But
because
I
like because you think about it and it's that's still technically connected to property, right? That's still connected close enough to California Adventure, whereas the new one that they're gonna build is not as close as those as those two hotels, or I guess three hotels. So you kind of wonder if rates are gonna go and all that stuff, depending on would that be a cheaper option than say Pixar and all that stuff.
yeah, I could see that, but they're going to be like the old school, like when they built Animal Kingdom Lodge at Disney World. That's on the other side of the planet, pretty much. I
Yeah,
mean, it's
that's
such
true.
a thing. So what they did was they made the best restaurants. You know, they got the best restaurants, the best the amenities. They got
Yeah,
the
that is true.
savannah out front. Also, like
That
so,
is true.
I think if they're gonna do that, because you're right, it should be a more lower
Yeah.
tier hotel. It should be more of a value hotel. But you know darn right well they're not going to do that. It's going to be Grand Californian on steroids, which I mean,
I mean, that'd be
if you
cool.
got the money,
That'd be
it
cool.
would be. I mean,
I'd like to see
I
that
love sitting around there.
because then it'll
I love
probably bring
sitting.
down the Grand Californians price.
It's
So
tr-
we want that. We want that to happen.
Yeah, yeah. Well, when it's
A
$1,000.
night.
$1,000 a night. That's not even a
Hmm.
hotel. That's not even a resort fee. That's not even
That's
a
strictly for a
parking
room,
fee. Yeah. That's just for the room, and it's the smallest room on property too.
and it doesn't include anything
Right.
like in terms of like spa and all that stuff. It doesn't include any other like accommodations. Just the
That
amenities in the room and all that stuff, which isn't a lot either.
which isn't a lot. They don't even have
Yeah.
the little shampoo bottles anymore, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's that bed better rock me to
That
sleep.
thing
That's all
better,
I'm saying.
yeah, knock me out as soon as I get on the bed. Like I better just dream about Mickey Mouse and all that stuff. Like,
He better do that wake up call, you know.
yeah, but that's interesting. But I would like to see those villas, though. I know those villas are, um, if what you said is like true, like it's completely looks like concept art, then I'd be very excited to see those rooms. If
Yeah,
those are like the concept art.
yeah. And I've seen I mean, you've probably seen the pictures too. I don't know how much they do as far as doing justice to them, but the rooms look really nice and stuff
Mhm.
like that. But I mean, it really is. It's also like right now the diehards are there,
Oh yeah,
staying there.
I
So it's
mean
like these are the people who they're DVC members, so they're gonna keep the brand and all that stuff. So we'll see what it looks like in you know
half a year
a
now.
year,
Yeah.
yeah, half a year. But
So
it's definitely a new thing on my bucket list. I gotta,
100%, 100%. Add that to the things that'll make me go bankrupt by Disney.
yeah,
So
I know, yeah.
dude.
Well, there's no more Star Cruiser, so they gotta have something else to.
Unfortunately, yeah. But that's I don't. They could have. I don't
So
know.
okay, so this wasn't on our plan to talk about,
No,
but I wanted to get your opinion on it. So somebody went on Instagram and said that if they had made a haunted mansion
no,
experience like that,
no,
it still would have closed
no,
down.
no. I don't. No, no. That's not. So see, now here's the thing. Okay? So with haunted mansion, that's a very niche sort of uh, fan base, I guess you could say, because it's not exactly a horror esque thing. It's not a scary thing. So horror, like people that love like movies like you know uh, like The Conjuring and stuff like that, like right, like stuff that's
Right.
actually like really scary, or at least scared me. To be honest with you, I don't think they would necessarily. I'm not saying people. I mean, everybody loves Haunted Mansion, right? Everybody. That's one of the most renowned and most popular IPs at this point now. Um,
Oh yeah.
and I think that there is a fan base for it. But I more than Star Wars, I don't think so. No, not by a long
Yeah.
shot. That's
Yeah. Oh, how are you going to immerse yourself in Haunted Mansion? I mean,
yeah. That's I mean, would it be cool? 100%. But I think that's something that uh, I mean, Disney doesn't have to make that. Somebody else could make like literally a local Airbnb could make that. Like it's not nothing special that Disney can do. That would make that special.
right. I mean, I think there's a house in Orlando that they totally redecorated. It's like an Airbnb kind of thing.
Yeah,
And they totally redecorated to make it look like the Haunted Mansion. And, they can command $600 a night, but that's a house. That's not an
yeah, and
experience
it's
necessarily.
yeah. I mean, because also like you got to think about it with Star Wars. There's stories that you can do that don't exist that you can be a part of. Whereas Haunted Mansion, like, what are you gonna do for
Hmm.
that realistically? Like I don't know. I don't see that uh, working like that.
You go on a search to find the hat of the Half Bucks
Okay,
ghost
yeah, like I
underneath
don't
the house.
like what are we
Oh,
come
that
on.
was a spoiler alert if you
I mean, I think it's I don't know, but I don't I think if they wanted to fix that, you I know I think I'm pretty sure they said, and if they didn't say it, it was speculated as to why they didn't lower the prices for the rooms of the Star Cruiser, and that was because that they spent so much time and money on it that even lowering the prices, it just you would they wouldn't get their money back. Um, and you can't really overpopulate that
yeah.
hotel because then it doesn't really work as well. So you can't book everybody on
Right.
that thing. What I think they should do is if you want to keep that price, that's fine, but add more stuff to do, expand upon it, let there be more paths, make it more. Because I mean, don't get me wrong, it was immersible, and from what I've seen from the videos, because obviously we didn't get the chance to go on it or experience it, but like everybody said, like the whole like the story aspect and everything with nothing that wasn't the issue. It was just the price point and kind of the fact that there's they're also overwhelmed with well I don't want to
That's
miss out
yeah.
on doing something and I think if you kind of just let it play out to where it doesn't have to be a story constantly 24/7, just let there be things for you to do like the Disney Cruise Line and such like kind of stuff. um
Right.
I think you'd be able to kind of be able to kind of be like, okay, there's so much stuff here that I want to do, but I can't do all of it in this short time. But it doesn't have to be a story thing. It can be, different branching paths thing, or um, then you can kind of go about it. But I think I think if you really want to kind of do that, lower the price a little bit, take away the IP, do an original story of some sorts, and see what can happen with that, and then you know
I'm
and bring that back and see what you can do. But it had nothing to do with the fact that it was Star Wars. It had nothing to do with the fact that the story wasn't well or anything. It just was. Everybody said the price point was just too expensive for what what it was because it cost about just as much, if not more, to book that hotel than like a couple days at Walt Disney World.
right. And that was the confusion because it's like, is this something I tack onto my vacation or is this is this my vacation?
Yeah.
And I think that was, I think honestly, not even the price. I think the marketing is what failed that thing
Yeah.
because I mean, people have no problem laying $10,000 down on a vacation for four to Disney World. They have no problem doing that. They do have a problem when you tell them it's, a $3,000 hotel room. Then they're like, oh, I don't need to do that
Yeah.
to have some Star Wars thing or something like that. But if you told them, like what you said, it's a full-on experience, immersive story, all this stuff, then you're like, okay, I can do the 3,000, 6,000 however much it is.
Yeah.
But
But then you're also,
yeah,
but then you couple with that with, well, I've never been to Walt Disney World. Mm, I can,
exactly.
Star Wars Hotel at the time was like, that'll be there. Let me go to Walt Disney World first, do all this stuff, and it didn't pan out correctly how they wanted it to because of that price point being so expensive, because they put so much into it. But at the same time, you have to kind of take for a thing like that. I feel like you kind of have to go into it knowing, hey, we're gonna lose some money. Like we're gonna lose a lot of money because we understand this thing's expensive. Let's bring it down so that way we can at least try to get the money faster in troves. And then also the same thing too. I guess it also doesn't work because you have one set of cast members doing it all the time. They're there.
Right.
They're there with you throughout that. I think it's because it's like a. Was it a weekend thing? It was a weekend thing, right?
Yeah, it was 2 nights, I think.
It was something like
Two
that.
nights and
But
then
but you
yeah.
have them there with you that whole entire time because they have to be, because you get to come up to them and you get to talk to them and all that stuff, and it's a lot for them to do. It's a 24/7 thing for them, and
Yeah, they stayed on the
yeah,
property there too. They were in the
yeah. So I
which
mean,
wow,
you
that's
have to like, if you can rotate out the cast members, give them different characters and all that stuff, and like don't necessarily, you don't have to necessarily make them the same character, but give them different characters and all that stuff, and you can kind of you know make it a 24/7 thing and kind of get your money back faster. But I don't know. I don't know.
oh, and just have like like the minute it ends, then you just all right, you just passing them the new people and the old people passing on the way out kind of thing. That
Yeah,
would have been yeah. Well, I know that they were talking about doing new stories and stuff like that, and
yeah. Which I mean,
bringing in the Mandalorian and all that. And I
I don't think that's
really
the issue though.
no, yeah, it's definitely not. And I think you're right. You have when you're doing something like this that was brand new, no one had ever done this before. You have to go in knowing this is probably not going to make money for the first couple of years.
Yeah,
And you can, it's not like they're hard up. I mean, it's not like they got a bunch of investors they got to return to. I mean, they got the shareholders, but
yeah.
got a lot of cushion there
And
that
I think
they could have weathered that.
when you bring the characters into it, that's when it starts to get like, well, nah, this isn't gonna work because then you got like, because Disney likes to do the storyline things within the parks. They like to do like uh, Galaxy's Edge Batu is actually a canon thing in the Star Wars universe. It takes place between a certain time period. Same thing with Avengers Campus, that actually is all canonical and all that stuff. So they like to do that kind of stuff. So when you bring that into the Star Cruiser, the hotel, it kind of ruins it and it takes you out of your experience because now it's like, well, it's not necessarily an original story. They bring characters in, like how does this fit and all that stuff. And I think by doing that you dilute the story, you dilute the experience on us by bringing in characters, bring in original characters. That's fine, but the iconic characters, I don't think you should bring those in there.
Yeah, that's true because I mean, Ray is from she was a huge part of that story.
Yeah,
And then it was weird because you go to Batu and she's not in it. She it would be almost like there was a disconnect with the way that those two stories would line up and stuff.
yeah,
So yeah, I definitely see that there's flaws with that. Also, too, I mean, original trilogy. I know that they didn't want to do that, but I mean, you imagine if Darth Vader was in that
oh yeah,
final scene
that'd be
or
cool.
whatever.
That'd be
I mean,
cool.
it would have been
But
yeah,
but again, don't create a new villain or something. Create a new something solely for the parks, and I think that'd be pretty cool. Because then it also gives you a reason to be there. You're like, well, what's this character story all about? I want to go see this. You know. But again, we're
you
not
know what?
Imagineers.
I don't know. Um, well, I wanted to another thing we didn't talk about, but I wanted to bring up totally off no not Star Wars related at all, but Tiana's Palace.
Oh yeah, I've not
got
gotten
to
a
go
chance
there.
to eat there yet.
It's good. I hate to admit it,
Really?
but it is good.
That's what I've been hearing.
Yeah,
That's what I've been hearing.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we waited in a pretty long line, and once we got there, the cast members were really excited. One guy was like, "We need to take pictures because this is historic. You're a part of history." And I was like, I'm just want some food. I don't need
Yeah.
to document this, but it's nice. I loved the French market, so I was kind of bummed when they
Yeah.
did the whole IP thing, but it's really nice. And I got the chicken, which with the Cajun smoked something.
Yeah.
That was really good. I don't know. Maybe I was really hungry, but it was really
No,
cooked.
I've
It
been
was
hearing
cooked
that
well.
it's everybody says that it's like really good. No, like it's one of some of the best food in Disneyland. So
Yeah, and the other person I was with got the chicken gumbo and all that. That was good. They liked it. What I would suggest not getting is that beignet, the which isn't a beignet. It's like a Pop Tart toaster strudel kind of thing.
really,
Well, it has this lemon. It's like a lemon filling, like a lemon cream filling, and your jaw would just seize up, and then the muscles in your neck would just lock, and you're like, oh, it was pungent, and it just had locked jaw the whole
interesting,
time you were eating it. But
interesting,
anyway,
interesting.
yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention that earlier, and I thought I'd
Oh,
throw it in there.
that's fine. We have no content, so the
That's
more the merrier.
I know. I tell
Uh,
you, we need to get another Destination D23 or something
Something
going.
fast, man. I mean,
Something.
let's bring it on. I mean, we could do speculations, I guess, but that's for another time. That's literally for when we get there, and
Exactly.
we got to save that because what's the point? But I'm excited for that. I know we keep talking about it, but that's something that I am super excited for.
Yeah. Stay tuned. In about 8, 9, 10 months or something like that, we're
Yeah.
gonna have some content
We'll
for you.
we'll crank them out. We'll crank them out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that'll be fun.
But,
But yeah, I think honestly, I think that's all we. I think we've
yeah.
stretched it as long as we could.
We have. That's why I peppered in that little thing about Star Cruiser. I was
Yeah.
like, maybe we can just
Well,
bring that up. We can talk about
we
that.
we knew this was gonna be a short one, but
Yeah.
that's okay. As long as we get something out for you guys, that's
Hopefully your commute was shortened today. There's no traffic, and you just fly by. You didn't need the hour long.
Yeah, right.
But
Or on your lunch
I think
break or
that
something.
yeah, true. So I mean, it's just nice to check in and stuff.
Yeah, of course. So there may be some times
All
where we don't have a podcast because there's nothing to talk about, and if we have nothing to talk about, we're not gonna try to BS you guys. So
we're just gonna talk about what did you have for dinner
yeah,
today?
right. So
And then it's awkward, and
we don't want to do that. So
Yeah.
if there's no we'll try to announce something in some way, maybe on Twitter or so. But if you if you don't see anything, that's why. There's nothing. But if there is something, we'll make it. So there is.
well, I guess let's put this one to bed then.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, for Armando, I'm Steve, and we'll see you next time with another edition of the Way of Magic podcast. See you later, folks.
Hey there, everyone. Thanks for watching this episode of the Way of Magic podcast. If you enjoyed this episode and you like our content, don't forget to subscribe and like this episode, and don't forget to turn on notifications for when we upload.
And if you prefer to listen to this podcast instead, you can find the Way of Magic podcast on Amazon Music, Google Podcast, Spotify, and even Spotify for podcasters. Thanks for listening.